Let's just double check. I just want to go over here to the home. 102 watching. That's official. We're in here. It's official. We're live. Don't want to knock my coffee over. That would be a dreadful result. I'm just going to read the chat for a sec. Lush be pissing me off with his "I'm sorry on behalf of all white people" bullshit. You and me both, brother. Let me tell you, that sounds like the Lush one that I know and love. Adam, we gay. Let's start. All right, fresh love the doc. Appreciate you. I'm gonna refresh this window just because I feel like this window, if this is gonna be my main point of contact here. So now let's try putting him on the screen. Boom, there it is. Okay. What's going on, dude?
Now, Adam?
I can hear you now. What's up?
Fuck yeah, dude. I've been watching you for a fucking while, bro. It's good to see you.
Oh, hell yeah, man. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, I mean, you even having the come up sticker on your wall, like, that's kind of crazy just because those are stickers that we probably haven't made in like 10 plus years.
I know, dude. Fucking be cool to see you make some BMX content again, you know? The channel's been kind of
oh, yeah. The deadest channel, yeah. But... no, because the last time that we like really gave it a good effort, honestly, was when I went to New York on a trip with the On Some Shit team in maybe 2022, and we did a couple of different vlogs, and honestly, they did all right. They got like 100,000 views, a few of them. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's like my time and energy is just kind of like elsewhere. I just like don't really have time to focus on like a million different things. And unfortunately, like I had a dream for a while where it's like, I'm going to find the next great BMX YouTube star, and I'm going to move him out to Los Angeles and get him a full-time filmer, and we're going to put them on the road, and they're going to just basically go out and film BMX videos every day, and it's going to work because they're going to make money off YouTube, blah, blah, blah. And like once you actually start trying to like sort through people and try to find somebody who actually seems like they would be able to be determined to do that kind of thing on a day-to-day basis, I don't know. It's tough.
It is, bro. Yeah. But I don't know. I see like Trey Jones and stuff. He's doing this whole Swamp Fest thing every year. I feel like it'd be kind of cool. You know, you guys do your little LA scene, you know? I don't know. I feel like you can do something cool with it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I would love to be able to incorporate. You know, that's what a funny thing about it is just that like people used to always talk about people used to always talk about skateboarding like it was just this huge opportunity. They make so much money, et cetera, and BMX kind of got left behind. But then from time to time, like, well, now it just seems like in comparison, I'm constantly seeing clips pop up on my For You page of like skaters talking about how they feel like skating is in like a bad position in terms of you know, the industry and everything like that. And that is kind of crazy to see because BMX has been saying that about ourselves for forever. And I don't know, I just feel like skateboarding is kind of getting a taste of that, or the fact that like the culture just moves on to like new things to be fascinated by on a consistent basis, you know?
Yeah, for real though. Everything, people always want to see something fresh, you know? It's in skateboarding. I don't know, man. BMX, I feel like that's the coolest shit right now, bro. You just need to stick with that, you know?
No, I love it too. Even just last night, I was watching a bunch of BMX videos on the Our BMX site and everything, and I just don't really, I don't know. It's just such a thing to try to like invest in BMX as a business because it's just like not the biggest audience, but you know, I love the shit.
Honestly, bro, if you guys came down to one of the Our BMX like video shoots, and you had your own like little like the come up fucking On Some Shit thing there, I don't know. You guys should do more of like city videos, like traveling, you know?
Wait, where are you located?
I'm in Lakeside, San Diego.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been watching Fudger's podcast a decent amount.
Oh yeah, bro.
I watched a 3-hour Chad Kagi interview the other day.
Fucking, we all do that, bro. I love watching YouTube videos.
Man, Chad Kagi, I just like, he's such a legend. Such like a not the kind of guy that I ever would have really been all that interested in my early BMX career, but now I'm like super interested in that shit. Oh shit. So I just realized there's something that I can't do because I'm going to show okay. Got it. All right. So what's your name?
Jared.
Jared, nice to meet you, man. Appreciate you.
I'll see you soon.
Boom. One call down. We did one call. That just proved, just so you guys know, I know kind of weird that I was just talking to like a random BMX rider, whatever. I understand that. But I did just prove that I could like loop people in on Instagram Live and be able to have conversations with them. Although it is now becoming clear to me that I'm going to have to make a separate Instagram account to use to do this sort of thing. Honestly, the On Some Shit account, not the worst account, but I could like promote this in advance and like make a flyer and say, if you want to be involved, follow this account, make sure you get on this account, etc. Which is, you know, I think it's dope personally. I mean, obviously there's something magical about doing it from the No Jumper account because of the fact that, you know, once you do that, it's like there's all these like millions of like hip hop oriented people that are basically going to see it no matter what. And with this, it's primarily going to be, you know, a little bit different. Oh, shout out to my boy Jason in the chat. Shout out to EthelWolf98. We have some very, very rare usernames that are being incorporated right now. Okay, this one dude is spamming this topic, so I guess I'm just going to commentate on it. And who knows? Oh, fuck. Should we clip this or should we not? That's the real question. All right, Stevie Churchill. A lot of people talking about the fact, and I guess I could probably, I feel like I got to show the mug shot in order to illustrate my point. Yeah, okay, I found a random post showing it. Okay. Okay, so I have to do, okay. Do this, put myself in the corner. So, this is a poorly kept secret at this point. Stevie Churchill has been arrested and I believe is still probably incarcerated for domestic violence of some sort, grabbing his girl by the neck, I guess, allegedly. So people are asking me my opinions on this, my thoughts on this. I'm going to be real with you. I haven't had a meaningful conversation with Stevie since probably 2016. And I guess I should kind of flesh out the nature of our relationship prior to that. But basically, Stevie is somebody that I met when he was very, very young. He was, I think, 16 when I met him, maybe 15, and he was a BMX superstar. And I already knew who he was and everything because he had made an impression on everybody with his BMX footage at the time. Like, I think he's 720 down a set of stairs. I think he 3-whipped down a set of, no, I think he's 720 on flat. Yeah, and he was doing like 3-whips down stuff and everything. It was just like unbelievable the kind of stuff that he was doing at that point. And somebody said the post has 17 likes. Who cares? I mean, this is not the most heavily trafficked post about this issue. And this is absolutely not me going in on Stevie by any means. This is just me talking about the fact that this is out there and everybody in BMX is trying to act like it's not happening, like on a industry level. But, and again, I don't know anything about this aside from what I've read online. So I meet Steve, just to flesh it all out. I meet Stevie when he's 15 or 16, whatever. We're cool, but then I moved to the West Coast. After being on the West Coast for a little bit, Stevie ends up coming out and visiting because he was pro for volume at the time, right? So he's coming out, he's sleeping on the couch, he's riding, he's absolutely killing it. He's like the most talented, natural, phenomenal rider that you've ever seen in your entire life, right? And so he comes out onto the scene, but the problem is that he's a drunk. And not like a little bit of a drunk, but like the worst drunk you ever seen. And it didn't help at all that he's coming out to the West Coast and he's staying with a bunch of people who are drinking all the time. Now, myself personally, I was not drinking with Stevie. I was trying to keep him away from it, but let's be real. As the years go by, it just becomes more and more normal. We're going out to the bar every night. We're going to clubs. You know, he rides in X Games. We're going to the club after that, etc. And it's like, you know, a lot of us like at different times tried to keep him off the sauce and away from the alcohol. And yeah, we all failed. So I say that in the sense that given where I'm at now in life, if Stevie was somebody that, you know, because realistically at a certain point, he's like my little brother. But if I had somebody like him in my life, I would probably go harder to try to get him off the booze. Now, I don't know if that would have worked. But at this point, like I think especially at that time, I really felt like anybody who was fucked up on drugs, it just 100% had to be their decision to get off it. I have since then seen so many people like get clean, interviewed so many people who went to rehab 10 times before they got clean, etc. It's like I do wish that I had gone harder to try to get him to clean up his act. And it really hurt because so many doors were kind of closed by the alcoholism. You know, like it was a certain point in time where it really felt like every door was opening for him on a popularity level. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Stevie in 2016 was like the most phenomenal, overwhelmingly popular rider I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I had been sponsoring all these different dudes with On Some Shit for years and years. And then with Stevie, it was like all of those dudes were like fringe characters in comparison to the amount of popularity that Stevie had. And it kind of took me a little while to realize that, but as time went on, I started to realize, and especially with Began too, it was like these dudes were like such superstars. So you go back to the era of like 2015, 2016, whatever, we're like making vlogs daily. The fans are going nuts for it. We're like really killing it. But I'm not gonna lie, around that time is when my energy started getting split with No Jumper. And Stevie's drinking really got to the point where he like wasn't even really going out riding with us anymore. And it was always this battle anyway, because Stevie's version of drinking was not like, oh, I'm going to get drunk and go to bed. No, it's like, I'm going to get blackout wasted until 7, 8 in the morning. And then we're all trying to go out riding at noon. And Stevie like has just started sleeping. And it honestly, it got to the point where like, he didn't want to go riding. If he did go riding, he would just sleep in the van. He just like, it was just a pain to even bring him out riding at a certain point. So he would like kind of like lock himself away in his room, not go out riding. And I still remember at a certain point that I had one of these nights in 2016 where I was in the No Jumper office at the store doing interviews until, you know, probably like fucking 11 p.m. or midnight or something like that. And, you know, I'm feeling so good. I'm feeling like, God damn it, I just killed it. Honestly, it could have been like the night that I interviewed X. It could have been the night I interviewed Yachty. It was one of these nights where I did like a bunch of like really epic interviews in one night. And then I went home. And when I get home, I got to do a bunch of bullshit. I have to take the trash out. I have to fucking park the van hella far away and then ride my bike back to the office. And then I have to park my car hella far away because I was trying to avoid getting parking tickets. And it's like, you know, I just had a ton of responsibility on my plate at that point. And then I get home and Stevie's just talking shit, just like laying into me. I don't remember like the nature of it, but he was just talking shit, being kind of unpleasant and just really being on my case. And I like said something back, or like we just started to get kind of argument. And I remember I just like looked at him at one point and I'm like, bro, I'm done. Like, I'm just not going to be your fucking caretaker anymore. Like, you're living in my house that I'm paying for. You're living off of money that I'm giving you. I can't even get you to go out riding anymore to make footage to presumably like, you know, earn money to be able to pay off the money I've invested in you. I'm just done. And then like literally within a week, I had got an apartment like a mile or two away. And then honestly, I never really went riding after that. Like I went riding from time to time, but it just wasn't really like it used to be. Like I used to like ride my bike, and then the store moved to Melrose, and that was the other big change, because all of a sudden it was like, I'm not going to ride my bike from Koreatown to Melrose. I used to ride my bike from Koreatown to downtown. That wasn't that far, and it made sense because it was like impossible to park your car over there. But as time went by, it just became like I didn't want to go out and vlog BMX riding anymore. I was just kind of over it, and I probably would have kept shit going to some extent, and you know, we tried, but I don't know. The Stevie thing was just kind of heartbreaking. Just the fact that I couldn't pull him out of the hole that he was in. You know what I mean? Like, I just like, there was nothing that I was going to be able to do. And I'm going to, like, to be totally real with you, like Stevie, like his problem goes way beyond drinking. His problem was that ever since a really young age, he was this talented BMX prodigy, right? And basically, like, as a result, he never really had to figure out how to be a grown-up. And he knows this. Like, if you ask Stevie, he'll tell you this. This is like, every single person who knows Stevie knows this. Because from a super young age, when he's, you know, 13 or 14, it's like He's the sick BMX rider. He was always that. So his friends are buying him food. They're buying him beer. It's like all the older kids want to hang out with him because he's so sick at riding. They're buying him alcohol. They're taking him to the skate park. They're taking him on trips, etc. And like where somebody like me who didn't have any talent as a BMX rider, I was forced to like learn life skills to make it through life. Like there's a lot of things in life. I was giving an example. Is like I personally don't like doing laundry. Okay. But like I figured it out, because I had to. Stevie like didn't want to do laundry, didn't know how to do laundry, so he just like wouldn't do laundry. Like he would like let his shit rot in his room, and then all of a sudden like he would wait until the point where like Began was like, okay, fine, like give me your fucking clothes, I'm gonna do laundry for you. And I know that sounds crazy, but like that's Stevie just never really like figured out that part of life where you have to figure shit out for yourself, because he just never really did anything besides drink and ride. And that sounds kind of fucked up, but it's true. Like he just never really like got that thing in his head of like figuring out life. So fast forward to now, because Stevie was still pro and like getting paid and shit for like quite a few years after I kind of removed myself from the whole thing, in 2016. Still getting paid by Federal, still getting royalties on a lot of his products, stuff like that. But all that wore off eventually as well. And so fast forward to like today, Stevie like a week ago or whatever got this charge because I guess he like was choking out his girlfriend or something. I don't know anything about his girlfriend or him having a girlfriend, but I guess that's what they're saying. I don't know. I've never seen him hit a girl. I've never seen him. I mean, I guess I saw him probably swing on some people drunk in the bar and shit like that, but I never seen him like be an abuser, if that's what you guys are maybe wondering about. But this situation, I could like almost guarantee is just basically him being drunk as fuck and doing some dumb shit. I don't know anything about the details, but if anything, like the sentiment in the group chats that I'm in within the BMX world was kind of like, damn, like maybe this will be the wake up call that he needs. Because nobody needs a wake up call more than Stevie, like nobody needs, like, honestly, like probably one of the best things that could have happened to Stevie early on would have been him getting arrested for something that was so bad that he had to get sober. Like I've had that happen with other friends of mine where they get some kind of charge where they're getting drug tested, and so they have to stop doing drugs, and then that fixes their life. It is a fucking miracle that this is like the first time Stevie's got arrested for some crazy shit that happened while he was drunk. I actually do remember that he got a DUI back in the day with Xavier Wolf for walking his bike down the street while he was blackout drunk. But that, I think that got dropped or something. Either way, all I'm saying before I get back to these Instagram live calls and whatever is just that I love Stevie. He's a great person. He's got a heart of gold. He needs to stop drinking. Somebody in his life. Like that was why I was crazy when I seen like him and Rakani linking up, and like all of a sudden they're this like power duo. It's like, bro, Rakani is a fucking drug addict. He might be worse than you. Like Rakani is a hardcore alcoholic. Like that fool is. I watched the interview that he did like a year or two ago, and he was just like talking about coke the whole time. He's like smoking cigs the whole time. I'm like, bro, this is the last person that Stevie needs to be spending time with. And I mean, the sad thing about it is that like, how old is this fool now? It probably says somewhere on the screen. It's kind of small. I can't really read it, but either way, I mean, it's got to be like 30 now. I mean, like the ship has kind of sailed to a certain extent. But I would love to see him. I know he's like got a job and shit, so that's pretty cool. But I would love to see him just like get his life to a position where things were a little bit smoother. But I mean, shit, it's been 10 years since I kind of had to separate myself from the whole situation, And somebody said in the chat, like, Adam abandoned his friend. I mean, shit, what are you going to do at a certain point? You're living with somebody and they're getting blackout drunk and screaming at you every night. Like, just being a dick to you, At a certain point, it was like, hey, I'm not paying your rent anymore. And I'm not really, like, enthusiastic about this whole situation, So I just hope he gets his shit together, because Stevie, honestly, like, he's a great dude. He just needs to get sober, and he needs to figure his fucking life out, Yeah. So, I mean, I got nothing bad to say about him. It's just like, honestly, like him getting arrested for that shit is like a continuation of the same shit that made me back off in the first place, which was just like, damn, his life is out of control and he refuses to do anything to try to fix it or get going in the right direction. Because, I mean, Stevie could have been, I'll say this, that there hasn't been a BMX pro who was as popular as Stevie since Stevie. And when I say that, I realize that sounds kind of crazy because there's all these riders who are just as good as Stevie. But, you know, that was always kind of the troubling thing is like, I would be posting Stevie all the time on Instagram and his following count, his like count, his comments, his whatever was just so outsized compared to everybody else that was in the BMX game, even though he obviously was not, like you put him next to somebody like Garrett Reynolds. I don't remember exactly who had the most followers or whatever, but I remember at the time being like, dude, Garrett is the greatest rider of all time, and Stevie's Instagram followers are like blowing past him. We had a Facebook page for him that had like hundreds of thousands of followers. Every post going so crazy. Every comment was in Spanish, which is like, you know, he was just so big in Latin America. But I don't know. It just didn't. We couldn't really get him to do anything for himself, you know? Like even his Instagram, like there was a certain point, people always used to say at the time, like, oh, you guys are taking advantage of Stevie because, you know, you guys are like like you're tagged in all his Instagram posts for filming and shit. He never would have posted on Instagram if it wasn't for us. Me specifically, honestly. Like I took his Instagram and started filming content of him and posting it. And that's why he got to like 300K or 400, whatever. Like it was 100% me posting. And that's obviously he's the one doing the tricks. But I say that to say that like he wasn't going to put himself out there like that. Like it wasn't a thing in Stevie's head to be like, oh, I'm going to film a clip and post a clip. Maybe over time he started to get into that. But like he just wasn't there mentally to like be organized enough in his thoughts to even, you know, understand that part of being a pro rider is posting Instagram clips, even if they're not the craziest clips ever. So yeah, I mean, the whole thing is sad. And, you know, I look back on it with some regret, like shit, I should have put him in rehab. But the thing is that like at that time, I remember looking into it and it was like, oh, 10 grand for rehab. I don't have 10 grand. What am I going to do? Now there was a chance at the time that I could have been like, yo, federal, give us 3 grand. We'll do 3 grand. Maybe we'll get 3 grand for McClaw or something. I don't know. Maybe we could have made it work at the time. Like I wish that I had just tried harder. But at that time, it just wasn't, you know, 10 grand was like $1 million at that time. Now 10 grand, boom, put him in rehab. Let's do it. He's important to the brand. We got to do everything we can. You're a bad friend, Adam. All you care about is yourself. Look at what you did to Yuri. I mean, yeah, that's a good point. Yuri, Stevie, kind of, yeah. All right, let me try to add somebody else. Let's see how this goes. All right, who we got here? Let's see if we can get this to work. Let's see if this worked. Oh shit! See what we got? Justin Spree in the chat.
You.
Oh, this fucking guy again. Oh my god! All right. Now we got some audio. What's going on?
I'm good. Nah, good to see you again, man. I feel like the last time you came to New York, I dead saw you in the city.
Where at?
Fucking, we was on like Bowery. You was like with your girl and a security guard. You said, "Yo, what's up, Darren?" I was just like, "Oh shit, like nigga, like mad random as fuck, bro." Like you dead ass was like walking around. But either ways, yo, it's good talking to you, but my nigga, like good seeing you. You feel me? It's crazy that you went from BMX to fucking fucking music industry. Like that's fucking, bro, I remember hanging out with you at fucking Union Square, my nigga, like you doing tricks and all types of shit, bro.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, man, like the Union days, people don't even understand how important that was. Like my goal in life every day was to like basically get to Union Square by like whatever, like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. and then just sit there until 4 a.m. and just hang out, talk to girls, do bike tricks, whatever.
You feel me? The culture has changed. Like now a lot of New York bikers like is changed. Like they try to do a lot more street riding. There's a lot more skate parks in the city now. So like at least we have that and shit. And yeah, like they try to bring it back to like where we had a lot of jams, and you feel me?
Yeah, yo, I think about that sometimes. Just like now in New York, it used to be like you rode your bike to like Owl's Head deep into Brooklyn, or you went to the skate park in the LES under the bridge, and those were kind of it. Or you went to the Brooklyn Banks. Those were like really the only skate parks that we had at the time. And now I see a different skate plaza every fucking video I click on. It's crazy.
Yeah, they done upped it for us, and like I'm definitely appreciative of that shit for real.
Nah, facts. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. So what's the New York City BMX scene like these days though? Give me a short review.
I mean, we got a lot of like we have a lot of crews out there. You feel me? Like the local fly guys, you got fucking Waka, we got fucking Sasson, everybody out here doing crazy tricks, trying to, get their content up. Do D nice, you feel me? Like, yeah, yo, we got a lot going on. A lot of people are just trying to keep up with shit and just recording, creating content, honestly.
Nah, that's fire, yeah. You ever see Nigel?
Yo, it's so funny that I see Nigel now, and it's like he's like in this fashion shit. It's dope. Like he's all over the train station now. He got like an ad up that telling kids to not subway surf or whatever.
Oh shit, for real? That's funny.
Yeah.
Yo, people be dying left and right doing that shit though.
That we got Billy Perry out here looking out, doing like little events and shit. He rides for Volume and all of that. Yeah, yo, there's a lot going up in New York, bro, for real.
That's good to hear, bro. It was good talking to you, man. It's been a while.
Been a long time. I remember your fucking videos. Like, damn, you had a lot of videos I was a part of, and like everybody's talking shit like Tukey and all of that.
Oh man, Tukey. Yo, shout out to Tukey. Yo, but that's what's crazy is that his nickname was Tukey because of Tukey Williams. But at the time, I guess I knew about Tukey Williams. I knew it was like some famous Crip, but now that would be a very controversial and confusing nickname. Man, that fool Tukey, I remember he was like one of the only dudes that I had as a homie back in the day who stunk, like really smelled bad. Like, like I fuck with it. I seen him a couple years ago in New York too. And I don't know if maybe he figured out the whole stanking thing, but that fool was stanking back then.
I'm crying. Yeah, we got Pans out here. My dude Rusty. Yeah, we got a lot of heads out here, bro. That's crazy if you fucking say that.
Yeah, that is fucked up.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's still doing his thing. I think he's in Florida, like building ramps and shit, but I'm not sure, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy to make it work as a BMX rider. No, that's part of my theory when it comes to New York is that anywhere where there's an extremely high cost of living, the percentage of people who ride BMX on a consistent basis will go down a lot because early 2000s when I moved out there, a lot of people riding BMX, but also like I had like my rent was like $150 for a one bedroom apartment in Astoria. Well, it was like $300 or $400 or some shit, but I was splitting with somebody else. It was a shithole, but that's what we had to do. And now I feel like, if you want to live in New York City, you got to be working like all the time or be getting hella money from the government, I guess.
That type shit. Shit, not for nothing. Yeah, the last thing I went viral for was the Hood Happy shit. I was on Hood Happy and I fucking got nutted on the Allen Street rail.
Oh,
shit was crazy, man.
Bro, I gotta tap back in with Black Man. Last time I seen him, he was asking me about the squatting scene in LA. I'm like, man, I own a house. What the fuck do I know about squatting?
I'm fucking crying. I doubt he's on that type of time anymore. This nigga's been getting money. I talked to him here and there.
Yo, I hope you're right. But last time I talked to him, that fool was bigging up the squatting scene hard.
Yeah, nah, he's definitely not on that shit no more.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, man, I seen a video of a Black Man beating the fuck out of a dude with like a bat or some shit too. Like,
yo, you know what's crazy? I was
on
the phone with the dude. I was on the phone with the dude that he was beating the shit out of, and I got off the phone. I fucking went there to see what the fuck was going on, and I see, that was a crazy situation. But that's because of the stupid squatting shit. Niggas, man.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of bullshit that went down behind that shit. I can't say too much because I wasn't, you know, involved in that shit. But like, I literally was on the phone with the dude. Like, this nigga still mad about it. He just posted something on his story. He's like, yeah, like nigga killed my dog and I'm just like,
oh yeah, that is
God,
what he said. That
bro.
the dude killed his dog, and then all of a sudden I felt like, oh shit, all right, if you got to beat the fuck out of him because you killed your dog, I guess I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know too much, but like, yeah, I literally was on the phone with the dude, and that shit was crazy because he was at like one of the new skate parks, and I'm like, oh shit, like let me go ride, and it's like the first time I see the skate park, it's like this shit happened, and yeah,
that's crazy. All right,
that
yo,
shit was crazy.
Appreciate you, man. Much love.
Peace.
Yo, Mikey, I know you're watching right now. Mikey, do me a favor and send a request from the No Jumper account to try to join this stream, because I think that will work. And that would be really interesting. So do that, please, and let me know. Has Mikey admitted to taking juice yet? Not that I know of, although for sure, like, I'm the one who's going to get on testosterone before he does, but he might do it. I don't know. Okay, I'm looking at the request. I just want to make sure. Oh yeah, okay. So I should probably switch over to this one. All right. So shout out to everybody in here. I hope you understand that this is like a pretty exciting development, just in the sense that me being able to add people off of an Instagram live while we're on here, I personally think could be really cool. Now, it would be a lot cooler if we were on the main account, but if we add the No Jumper account, then that's going to make it so that people can request to be part of this, even though it will be kind of weird to have some other person on it as well. People are saying check in with Brandon Began. Honestly, I talk to Began like every day. For real? You think it can't send because No Jumper's banned? Can you try it from No Jumper LA too? I wonder if Josh could try it from my account. Is Josh is logged in as me? Have him try it from my account too. Ooh, okay. Hey man, as long as we're here, as long as we're doing a stream that really, let's be real, this is a strictly for the hardcore stream, then I want to be able to try a variety of things to try to like see if we can get this working. Man, they need to close my goddamn door because I can hear myself in the other room, and it's extremely distracting. I'm not gonna lie. Steven Williams said out. Stevie's been in Jersey. Did OSS ever fuck with Charlie Crumlish? Charlie Crumlish edited Ruin Your Whole Summer, which was realistically like probably our best video, if you ask me. Did I try what? Oh, so I can do that. I could try to, but okay. Like I just saw Adam22 join, but then I click my name. Well, I can add myself as a moderator, which I don't really know what the advantage of that would be. I just did that, but I don't see like like No Jumper LA. It doesn't give me an option to like add them as a commentator. Now I can view the requests. Yeah, they're all just saying that they're not. Yeah. Oh, hell no. Look at this shit. If anybody's going to have tech problems, it's going to be Kareem. Oh, no. Oh, hell no.
What the freak is going on? OSS is back?
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. I just needed an account that I could go live on, because otherwise I wasn't gonna be able to do this, because my account, the No Jumper account, and the No Jumper LA account are all blocked from going live. I'm gonna be totally real with you. But also,
wow.
Yeah, I know, insane, right? But also, like, I just feel like okay, sorry, I just had to take the trash out real quick. Fuck Steve-O. Sorry. I just I need an account to go live on, and all my other account is just like not capable. So this was my attempt. Yo, I could add catfish. No way.
Get catfish in here. I'm gonna grab some chicken.
What kind of
I'm
chicken?
eating chicken online.
What kind of chicken you eating?
Yeah, fried and baked.
But not at the same time, right? That's insane.
Oh yeah, I'm crazy. Yeah, a little sample.
Wait, so
chicken.
Where are you living now?
Seattle, Washington. Let's go.
Oh, you're back out there. Okay. Yo, people are saying, is that the dude who got his teeth fixed? Yes, that is exactly who I'm talking to. Kareem Williams.
What's up, guys?
One of the greatest living African-American BMX. Wow, Sauce said Kareem Williams of the Deadline video. Wait, what clip did you have in Deadline?
I have 2 clips.
What were they?
That's Smith. It was in Ride back in the day. Z shot it. The big out ledge in LA.
Oh, okay.
White ledge. There's like the smaller sides on the right side than the bigger one. And then I had some rail hop clip.
Oh, that's what's up.
And they won the Nord Cup. So I won a Nord Cup.
That's true. You also had the ender of the on some shit friend section.
Friend section, banger. Let's go.
Gap over.
You're really a legendary bike rider here.
But was it was gap over the rail to grind the other rail? At the Williamsburg Plaza, right? Or was it gap tires?
Oh. At the Williamsburg, that was gap to the other side rail.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Later on in life.
But you didn't do gap tires, did you? Did Black do it or who
No.
did? Someone did.
That's Jeff. That's Martin.
Oh, yeah, Jeff. But Jeff Martin did it that day. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Remember we all in New York? Me, you, Mastrani, whoever else.
Yeah, and it was like the best day ever because Edwin was there just hanging out.
The best. I did a hop whip to pedals, my first one ever in front of Edwin. And I gave him a hug.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. The gang's all back together.
Yo, this is the group chat.
Back together. This is the group chat. We're back together. The Illuminati.
I can't believe it. Where are you at?
I mean, the south of Texas, like the southest part of Texas, South Padre Island.
What, you doing some, you bringing some immigrants over the border or what?
I was doing that. I was shipping a couple pounds over.
Oh, you got to do that.
Yeah. BMX shows, as always.
Bro, why is Adam Banton in this?
Everybody's in here. I think everybody was confused, Adam, the other day when OSS went live, and it was 3 people that we didn't know who they were, and everybody was like kind of freaking out a little bit.
That was Josh trying to troubleshoot it so that it would go smoother than it went today. Although, honestly, now it's going smooth. And for the record, nothing but respect for my president, Adam Banton, braces fanatic, Road Fools 5, Euro Fools God. Adam Banton was one of those guys who, like, I grew up hating him, and then I met him, and he was super nice, and I fucked with him, and like I was cool with him for years and years, but I never mentioned the fact that I was like a 16-year-old hater.
Jesus. Did you hate him because you hated people with braces?
I hated him because I was such a street rat that I just had to hate every park rider, and only now have I been like basically like broken out of that to the point where like that seems insane to me at this point. But at that time, that honestly felt like it made sense.
That's understandable. What's the best trick you've ever done over a box jump, Adam?
Downside ice, maybe.
Damn.
Like if there was a hip.
Box jump?
I'm saying like if there was a hit. No, I don't. I mean, I could say that I used to like hit a couple box jumps, but I mean, for sure, I never did like a trick.
You've never 180 to spine, have you?
Yo, I did. I know you say that I didn't, but there was like a 5-foot super mellow cement spine that I think that's why you turned this into a meme, is because I did. I said that I had 180 like a 5-foot cement spine back when I was a kid, and you didn't believe me for some reason, and then you're still bringing
Everybody
it up.
in the chat didn't believe you. I just like to give you shit.
No,
You're
that's
slow
cool.
and low. We love you. We love you, Roddy.
Yeah, you're a racist. But yo.
Speaking of racism, what's Kareem eating? Who gets on a live with Adam22 and just munches the whole time?
Bro, he said he's eating fried chicken and baked chicken at the same time.
They just gave it to me. I ordered fried chicken. They gave me 1 and 1.
Yo, so for the record, people are asking who you guys are on the YouTube side of things, just so you know. Okay, the African American gentleman's name is Kareem Williams. He is a BMX rider from Texas who I have known since approximately 2008. When I met him, he was like the dirtiest fucking dude I had ever met in my entire life, and just living off of emo chicks. And we became fast friends, I think it was fair to say. And Catfish is a 64-year-old BMX announcer / former TV star, BMX lifer, I think it's fair to say. Former cokehead, I think maybe present cokehead. I'm not really 100% sure.
Former host of TCU TV with Adam22.
Just the other day, I was scrolling through and I got recommended like a Austin Augie interview that you did when I was not there. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. There were some episodes that took place when I was not even around.
We did the first episode of No Jumper together.
No.
We did, us three. Me, Tom White, Edwin, Adam, Catfish.
No, okay, that was the first episode of TCU TV, which was like the original prototype for what went on. Because there was like a different channel. There was a whole thing. Yeah.
But I thought that first episode of No Jumper was with that one girl you were dating and that one rapper.
Xavier Wolf and
Xavier Wolf.
And Andy Sandemus.
Okay, we can say her name.
I mean,
I think that was the first episode, wasn't it?
Well, she's
the first real rapper interview.
Yeah, that was my first real rapper interview, and for some reason she co-hosted on it. And she's the kind of person who every once in a while I'll like look up her name and try to figure out if she's dead or not.
I do the same thing with people.
Yeah, like because like that's the only thing that could really be of note going forward.
Yeah. I'm glad in our old age we do the same stuff.
No, yeah, definitely. But I mean, even honestly, like yesterday, I went on ChatGPT and I had thought of like 3 ex-girlfriends of mine from 10 plus years ago, and I just like looked up their names to just like see if like what they were up to. Went and like tried to look at Facebook to see what they were up to, and it wasn't much. Honestly, it was not really. It's weird how many people like have a Facebook page and post like a photo every 4 years, because that's what I ran into when I was looking up this one girl. I'm like, seriously, like I haven't talked to you in 15 years and you posted 4 photos total on Instagram or on Facebook.
Streets are done. Facebook's done.
Kareem, when's the last time you updated your Facebook?
Oh, when I got knocked out. That video got like 2.9 million views, but I wasn't monetized though, so fuck them.
Bro, we got Hucker in the chat. That's insane.
There's some heavy hitters in this chat already.
Adam, Benton, and Hucker. We basically covered all of our bases.
Eddie Kuhler, Sauce the Boss.
Yeah, Sauce
from Austria.
Eddie in here.
Yo, you want to know what? So I watched the whole Chad Kagi interview on Ride, or an hour, and dude. Like, I don't know. I'm just like fascinated by that era in which vert dudes were able to make like very legit amounts of money, especially now that doesn't seem like it's a thing anymore. Like if you're a vert rider, like what does the contest scene look like for you at this point, Catfish?
Good Lord. I couldn't even tell you where there is a vert contest in the world in 2025. And there's probably less than 10 vert ramps in the United States. There's no vert contest at all. It's moved over to Park. Park is just too gnarly. And it's like, with so many little people riding vert, it's not even worth it for contests to do it.
I blame Derek Reynolds.
Yeah, well, I don't know how that would make sense at all, but Kareem always saying some shit. Nah, but like, yeah, I feel you. That's kind of like the gist of what Chad Kagi was saying. But in his words, and I've been thinking about this a lot, he said, we killed vert. Like he said that him and all the other vert pros at that time basically like would go to every contest, sort of do these like phoned in runs. Like it stopped being dramatic, it stopped being exciting. They were just going in there, doing their tricks. Bestwick wins every time, maybe once in a blue moon somebody like Chad Kagi is able to like, get first place, but it was like extremely difficult. And you know, it's like just the idea of the fact that, like, I mean, honestly, I think that shit was going to die either way, but the idea that it like died partially because they stopped making it an interesting performance for the crowd is pretty interesting.
Yeah, Vert as a whole is really weird when you look at it, because a lot of the big concerts like X Games, they were doubling up because there was Vert skating and Vert BMX, so it appealed to both crowds. But then it just got to the point where, you know, like you said, Bessel just kept winning contests, and there was no young vert riders. All the vert riders were over the age of 30. There's no young vert riders, 15, 16, 17-year-old vert riders. So it just kind of went by the wayside. I think the same thing with vert skating. You don't see it too much anymore.
Yeah, skating, same
I don't see
thing.
kids on Instagram dropping vert clips.
Yeah, it's weird, right? I mean, think about just like the whole Tony Hawk phenomenon, that he became so famous by being a vert skater. I don't think that would ever happen anymore in modern day times, that a vert skater gains the popularity that somebody like Tony Hawk did just because he was doing. Obviously, I think the 900 played a big role into it, but yeah, vert is gnarly.
I'm thinking about trying to bring back Tony Hawk bikes.
Oh, you should do a Tony Hawk spinner bike.
What happened to Tony Hawk bikes? I forgot that even existed, and then they revealed that like Rooftop used to be in charge of that. Like, honestly, them having that conversation and realizing how all these different pros were like kind of being just passed around as team managers between all the different brands, like that was kind of crazy. Like, what the fuck were these brands thinking? Like, was there seriously that much money? It feels like they kept it going even at a point where there probably wasn't.
I mean, just for the big boss, I think it made perfect sense for a lot of them, because they were like, oh, Tony Hawk's got a buzz, let's make bikes. The same thing with X Games, when the X Games made their own BMX bikes, because they knew there was visibility there. There's going to kids that are going to Walmart, they're going to buy an X Games bike because they recognize the brand.
Yeah, no, 100%. But it's still pretty hilarious. Like, we should have definitely done like Matt Hoffman skateboards at a certain point, you know?
Yeah, they stole from us. We should take it right back from them.
Yo, Kareem, I'm about to eliminate your ass just so I can bring Sauce in here so we could talk about BMX for some reason.
Get Sauce in here.
Yo, I love you, Kareem.
Bye, Kareem. Who are we bringing in?
Well, Sauce asked a good question in the chat, so I wanted to add him. I don't know if he's actually capable of getting online.
Bro, have you been following Sauce's adventures lately?
Well, sometimes I'll see him doing the like flipping houses and all that kind of stuff.
He does that. This motherfucker just went to Peru for like a month with Austin Augie, just traveling in the backwoods. He went to like Morocco, specifically in the deserts of Morocco, just to find a tree that goats climb.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's sick.
Yeah. We'll have to ask him. He'll give us a rundown. It's been real. The last 2 months of his life have been incredible.
Wow, good for him. Yeah, here he is. Oh!
What is good, my Caucasians?
Yo, people don't even know that Sauce was like one of my earlier prodigies. Like, when I was 30, Sauce was like 15, and I was like, you know what? That kid, he got it. He's gonna be something, that dude.
Appreciate it.
Sauce is the homie.
Prodigy might be a stretch.
We did something, but
Pause.
To my question, do you have any bright ideas there? Because I'm not super tapped into it anymore, but I have noticed that the guys going pro have like 10,000 followers, and there's no real like blueprint to build a star, if you will.
Yeah, it is crazy because like when you think about the magazines and the way that the magazines just sort of like anointed who the next dude was going to be, and that shit just like 100% doesn't really exist anymore. It's like, how do you develop like even like Devin, like I think Devin's last section, I noticed that it like didn't clear 100,000 views after like a year, and I was just like, damn, bro, like that makes me feel like the game is fucked up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just shouldn't.
It's weird when you look at the age of magazines, where it's kind of like, and looking back as an old man, if you were advertising in a magazine like a big company, obviously the magazine is going to take a liking to your riders. And looking back on it, I was like, damn, that's kind of fucked up, because it wasn't about talent. It was about the pockets of the company that's sponsoring you, that the magazine is going to give you some shine. or it wasn't like it was real, just based on talent. And looking back on it, like I said, it's kind of weird thinking about that now.
Nah, totally.
I mean, it's who you know, not what you know, right? Is kind of what you're saying there.
And and that's why it's funny, like even seeing this Johnny Rakes controversy, because it's like, I mean, bro, the industry is so small at this point that if you get booted off one frame company, like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, when we even going back to like 2010, 2011, it was like, well, you could go ride for Stolen. Like, maybe you're not the coolest dude. You can ride for Stolen. You can ride for Madeira. You can ride, like, all these random sort of companies that you can ride for. Proper. Like, Proper is gonna like fly you out to the UK and give you some money to be on their team or some shit. And like now it's like, if you don't make it on the Fit or S&M team, then you drive down the street and you get a cult. And then if that doesn't work out, then you just drive off into the sunset. It's over. It's just kind of like, there's just so few brands. Like even like with the shoe sponsor conversation, like when I hear dudes like complain about not having a shoe sponsor, it's like, bro, Garrett Reynolds doesn't have a shoe sponsor. What the fuck do you think is going to happen to you?
That's why I think it's so important in 2025, and I tell younger riders this all the time, it's like, you got to be your own hype man and stop going out. And to the younger riders out there, if you're looking for a sponsor, stop looking big. Go small. Look, like, get a local pizza sponsorship in your hometown. Get $100 a month, because $1,200 a year from a pizza shop is probably going to be more than you're going to get from any major shoe brand starting out. And if you get 5 of those, you can, you got rent money at least. And riders have to be their own hype man, their own managers these days. You have to handle your social media yourself. It's just, there's a lot on every individual rider's plate, I think.
I mean, at this point, I feel like you have to basically turn yourself into a social media influencer who happens to ride BMX. In the sense of like, okay, you see these hot chicks on Instagram who are skaters. And they're just, I seen this one girl, she's blonde, she's fucking gorgeous, she's got 2 million followers. She does some half decent skate tricks on flat and stuff, but it's like, honestly, like, if you're gonna be a BMX dude who actually gets sponsored, you need to put the whole picture together. You gotta have some cool jeans, you gotta have a sneaker collection, you gotta paint the picture for the fucking sponsor so that they can see why they would want to support you. And that's why, honestly, Adam LZ was the last time that I felt optimistic about the future of the BMX industry, because at that moment I was like, oh, this guy built up a huge fan base and BMX is just part of the overall lifestyle that he's presenting to you. And I feel like as much as LZ was weird and was a mark in a lot of people's opinions or whatever, I mean, I feel like that, like, he kind of like showed the blueprint of like what you're going to basically have to do to get brands interested. And when I see all these streamers and, rappers and the sponsorships are falling out of the fucking sky for these guys, a BMX dude just needs to like present himself in such a way and put together an audience that seems like it makes sense to sponsors. But like, the sponsors are they want to give you a brand deal one time. They don't want to like pay you monthly. You're not going to be on the like Hello Fresh team. But you could, get a couple of brand deals from them throughout the course of a year.
Yeah, you gotta go influencer and nothing else, in my opinion. Because like now, if you think about it, like you were saying, the magazines. If you go to the guys who are at the tail end of their career right now, like approaching 40, that were in the magazines, they're on Road Fools, all this shit. You have the push from outside coming in there. There's no push from outside. Like it's on. You've got to do it yourself. You're not going to do it at all. Pretty much is how it seems to me.
100%.
And then you also have, separately outside of that, though, you have human nature changing. It's 2025. There's less kids going outside. If they do go outside, they want a fucking e-bike. So it's like you got two things working against you there, kind of.
Yeah, plus video games are amazing now. Why the hell am I going to go outside and ride bikes when video games are basically reality?
Yeah, I've toyed with this question in my head for a long time, and I kind of came to the same conclusion. Like, just do it yourself or don't do it, kind of.
And I heard Fudger say this the other day on that Chad Kiggy and everything, I think, and he said people these days, it's not like they're not getting exposed to BMX, because when you're looking through Instagram, if you have any sort of interests in action sports, young dudes stuff, etc., there's going to be BMX reels that rides to the occasion the same way that I am served up fucking parkour reels on a pretty consistent basis. But it's like the way I feel when I look at a parkour reel is the way that the average person feels when they look at it, BMX on Instagram, which is like, yo, that was sick. That was a very enjoyable 15 seconds that I just spent observing this content, but in no way am I thinking about going and doing a flip off of a roof. So people will see BMX, but it's like the gap between seeing it and then like making this a part of your lifestyle and like, oh, I want to spend thousands of dollars a year on BMX bikes to be part of this community that like barely even seems like it's a thing anymore. I mean, that's a pretty big ask, you know?
Yeah, I think that's a super good point because I think the biggest problem with BMX is that we've always been the stepchild of skateboarding, and normal people that didn't skate or couldn't ollie to save their fucking life bought into skateboarding, and that's what helped skateboarding grow. People saw Bam Margera and they're like, oh, this guy's fucking cool. I can't skate to save my life. This guy beats his dad's ass. I'm gonna support this guy. I'm gonna buy a shirt. Tell me the last BMX rider that you can think of that people actually went and bought their shit because that they liked the rider.
Yeah. That's tough. I mean, honestly, that Stevie era, it seemed like that big time. I assume that it's still like that for certain pros and stuff, but yeah, I feel like it's probably not really what it was, right?
I'm like that with Devin. Anything Devin puts out, I will support anything because he's my favorite rider, and that's just how it is. But I can't see a normal person being like, man, this video was awesome. I'm going to buy a T-shirt to support this brand, even though I don't ride. It's just like it doesn't work that way anymore, you know?
But I mean, also think about like a modern 12-year-old. They're born in 2013. Their whole life is an iPad. They see 90 different things every single day. And the thought of actually going and doing any of them, I don't know. I'm not a fucking 12-year-old, but I would imagine seems crazy to even like go do it. Like you're an observer. You're a full-time observer.
Yeah, like,
you know, and that's your demographic. Pretty much. Like
when I remember, you know, a couple years ago looking at Instagram and seeing Sean Mack's son riding BMX and just like absolutely killing it. And he's like 8. And then like, I think about my kid is 5 and it's like, she rides a bike, but like it would be so weird. And obviously she's a girl, so it's a little different, but it's like, you know, it would be so weird to me to go and like try to like really force her into BMX. Like it would be such a hard lift as opposed to so many other things that I could get her into. And I understand how like that, it would probably make no sense to anyone that she goes to school with as she gets older, etc. Like it would be such a bizarre pastime to take on. Like you just like I feel like in the last 10 years of riding BMX or of living in the Valley that I just like have almost never seen someone riding a BMX bike down the street.
You see electric bikes.
Yes, all the time.
The kids have electric bikes. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also think that if we rode like we did 10 or 15 years ago and you were going out multiple times a week and your daughter was around BMX riders and, you know, going to places where everybody rides, that she would be a lot more inclined to get into BMX. Look who's here.
Let's go.
What is up, player?
I've been preaching about this shit for months and years.
Wait, let's talk about, first off, Brant.
Yo.
Are you allowed at Swamp Fest? I heard you're uninvited to the cookout after making that song about Trey.
What song?
What song?
You wrote a song about Trey Jones. I didn't know that.
What are you talking about? No, you want to hear it?
Yes.
I painted the ramps.
He took Trey's quote and turned it into an AI song.
Strange at times. I hate everything I see online. That a single clip of BF appears and I get goosebumps as if I'm seeing it all for the first time.
I actually did hear this. Yes.
Okay, we don't need to play the whole thing.
You're definitely not invited to the cookout, Brant.
Yo, but okay, Brant, let me just ask you, what were your thoughts on, and at this point, anybody watching needs to understand that a pro BMX rider named Trey Jones wrote a very emotional post about his feelings on the BMX industry and how seeing people training for the Olympics makes him sick and a variety of other takes. And he actually ended up deleting it because it ended up getting basically mocked so heavily within BMX. But what was your thought process on that, Brant?
When I read it, I was like, oh my God, I didn't know I had to bow down to King Jones. But honestly, though, total honesty, reading that post was like 90% of it was like, yeah, hell yeah, I get where you're coming from. But then the other 10% was like, we should all listen to that perspective and we should all follow what he's saying, or at least that's how it came across. And it was like, dude, who's we and who gets to decide these things?
I mean, the gist of what I got from it was basically like that Trey Jones is grossed out by weird corporate interests in BMX, and he wants it to be all about the soul and all about, you know, real BMX, which I totally get as a person who obviously was mostly attracted to hardcore street riding my whole time in BMX. Here's the problem though, is that it's like, I feel like at this point, BMX so desperately needs any kind of mainstream attention that the Olympics are the absolute least of note thing possible, because at least the Olympics is putting BMX out there for a lot more people to see, even if I assume it's not really causing a large percentage of people to convert to BMX riding, but at least it's something.
Right, absolutely. And like, have your opinion, have all your opinions in the world. Just don't act like everyone else should change their perspectives and how they do things because of your opinion.
Yeah, no, I totally get that, because that I want to keep referencing this, but that Chad Kagi interview I just watched, it's like now kind of being like out of the clouds and the smoke or whatever. It's like I could look at that and be like, damn, that's dope that there was this side of BMX where dudes were earning hundreds of thousands of dollars a year competing against each other, doing tricks where they can knock themselves out, and yes, like they're wearing Oakleys so that they can get paid or whatever, and that doesn't seem like the coolest thing in the world to me, but it's pretty dope that there was that in BMX in general. And, you know, for every person, like I saw vert dudes doing knack-knacks on vert ramps in the late 90s, and then that somehow led to me wanting to like do feeble 180s for 20 years. So I feel like, you know, a lot of people kind of miss out on that. Like the fact that like this mainstream exposure, like the version, like just because kids get turned on to BMX through a vert contest doesn't mean that they're going to go become vert riders. They're probably going to go for a more approachable style of BMX realistically.
Right. And if you look at somebody like me that was born in the 1800s, one of the biggest booms in bicycle riding, in adolescent bicycle riding, came on the tail end of what's that guy's name? Evel Knievel. Evel Knievel. Kids saw Evel Knievel in the early 70s, and they wanted to emulate that. Obviously, kids don't have a motorcycle, so they just did it with BMX bikes. And I think it's the same thing with the Olympics. It's like, if you don't like that shit, it's not hard to not watch the Olympics every 4 years. But if you love BMX, there's going to be kids that get into BMX because they see it. That's going to be their first exposure. Garrett Reynolds' first exposure to BMX was on the X Games. So people talk shit on the X Games, and it's like, there's good and bad sides of it. And, you know, I definitely see Trey's side of where he's coming from. All of us have done that. All of us love BMX. There have been lots of thought about how awesome BMX is, and I want to do this forever, and I know everything, and I write it all down, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to post that online. That's my feelings. But I respect him for doing that. He put his feelings out there. A lot of us do feel that way, but I think he kind of got a little bit of unnecessary heat for that. Coming from
I would agree. As the person who made the song, I would agree he got some unnecessary heat, but it was like that 10% of that post, it was like, BMX people in BMX reacted to it the way BMX people react to things, like, fuck you, don't tell me what I should be doing, I decide that.
Yeah, no, totally. And I mean,
the thing about BMX is
sorry. Why isn't that a song yet?
Charlie has a copyright to it.
Yeah, but like, I mean, there's been multiple times, like back in the day when I was still knee deep in BMX, where like I remember like this kink video drop that they had been filming for a couple of years, and they put it out, and I just happened to scope the view count after like a month or two, and it was at like 20K. And I was just like, bro, this cannot stand. Like, this just, like, they can't really be spending like, you know, $100,000 or whatever over the course of like a couple of years to make a video that is gonna only appeal to the people who are already 100% inundated in this culture. Like at some point, like when I got into BMX largely because of a GT air show. Like they were just touring the country, spending like huge amounts of money to go all over the country to try to like basically convert people into BMX consumers. And, you know, apparently that worked for a while. It's kind of hard to imagine it even taking place. Like I don't even know who would go to the GT air show if this existed in modern times. Like, would kids go, or would they just stay home on their phone? No. If a BMX rider would go, I just think about like the average person, and I'm just like, do they care when they could see stuff like this on TikTok every day?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point too, because Nitro Circus just did like a free tour in Walmart parking lots with a big ramp, and there was like 6 people at each show. So it's like, even when it's free and you got dudes doing double backflips, kids want to go home and play Call of Duty. They can be actively involved in home. It's like a different era.
I think like I said, I think it's just human nature, and I don't know that it's just a bump in the road. I think for moto stuff, it's down. I've heard for little league shit, it's down. Like everything is down. Like going outside is down. People just aren't outside.
No, so, I can confirm that, because
I don't know what you do about that.
Yeah,
but
having a BMX shop on Melrose and then having the No Jumper store like last year or whatever, it's like, yeah, people ain't going outside like they used to. COVID really fucked shit up in a way that I don't know. I don't know that we're ever gonna get to the other side of that. You know?
Yeah, that's a really good
so that's why I brought that question up, just because I've thought about that so much. I'm like, I don't know. You know, you hear about it going up and down over the years, but I don't know that this one goes back up. Like, what do you do?
It's hard to.
What are you gonna?
Yeah.
Well,
human behavior.
I have theories. I have different thoughts. Adam, I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
Because you're in the social media side, you see what people do for marketing and everything. In BMX, what would you say the marketing that happens in BMX is? Videos?
I would say that, yeah, probably almost every BMX brand is basically just making video content, although it stands out to me that, like, in 2015, if you were Simone, you were just like on the road constantly filming for all your different sponsors. I remember dudes like, you know, Mark Burnett. I remember trying to get Mark Burnett to like go on a trip to film for something, and it was just like his Shadow and Sabrosa tour schedule was so crazy that he like did not have time to go on a random trip with me or whatever. And it was like, I feel like at this, by the way, Catfish, are you in a construction site or something?
Yeah, I'm right by the side of the highway, so let me shut this door. It'll be dark, but it's better.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just feels like making videos is basically like all that people have kind of like reduced BMX marketing to, but that shit just doesn't really hit outside of the insular community.
Yeah, next question then. So if we're struggling to sell complete bikes that need to get sold, how do you sell those when the only marketing that happens in BMX is made for people who already ride BMX?
Exactly.
Who already have a bike, who are never going to buy a complete bike.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm the wrong person to ask, because at a certain point I kind of just realized like, oh, this shit is done for. Like I don't want it to be the case. I want BMX to thrive and be alive, but like at a certain point, on an industry side, I just bailed out. I was like, you know what? I don't really think this is going in a good direction. I don't really see how I can, avert what seems to be happening slowly to the subculture.
Yeah, I think you're the perfect person to ask, because I can say this on the internet till my face turns blue, but nobody wants to listen to it when it's just me talking, because I'm some dude from Ohio. But if I get on the internet and talk to Adam22 and ask you these questions, people are like, oh, maybe I should actually think about this.
No, because sometimes when I'm watching a BMX podcast or whatever, I'll hear people say like, yeah, I think BMX is healthier than it's ever been. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? I understand. I understand how that feels good to say that. And in some sense, if you're 18 and you don't really have much of a vision of what the past was like, then I understand how you could maybe say that. But, and it feels gross to say it. I don't like having to say that. I think that's ridiculous, because I would love to be a BMX booster and just be like, yeah, man, BMX is the best. It's going to be the biggest sport in the world. No, I remember the late 90s and the early 2000s. I feel like it honestly started to get smaller in like 2016, 2017.
Well, I think we got to separate then in these conversations when someone says BMX is great and everything, they're talking about the act of BMX and the state of like access. The bikes are the best they've ever been. The riding is most insane it's ever been. So if you talk about BMX as an activity that people do, best it's ever been before. BMX industry, totally different. And nobody makes that distinction. So like when something like what Trey Jones said comes out, we read that like he's talking about the whole of BMX, but then you look at it from a lens of the industry and you're like, oh, no, yeah, he's definitely saying something here.
Nah, facts. I mean, even somebody in my high school, sorry, Kev, I'll let you go, but like in my high school, I think 2,000 kids graduated in my graduating class, and there was at least like 40 hardcore BMX riders, including like there was like multiple scenes within my high school. There was like a dirt scene. There's like the dudes who hang out at this skate park. There's like, it's like kind of looking back on that, I'm like, that seems like unprecedented. There was so many people riding BMX in a pretty small town,
Yeah, I like somebody in the comments just commenting, maybe we should do what rappers do when they want to get more popular. They just start beefing with each other. Somebody in the comments said, we got to start beefing with other biking groups. Fuck the road bikes and fuck the mountain bikers. If we all come together and start making fun of these goofy-ass mountain bikers, maybe we'll get some more attention on us.
I mean, honestly, that as crazy as that sounds, that actually would be the kind of thing that would get the attention of the masses if you turn BMX into like a rival group, or like, like when there's like a protest, like a Trump protest or whatever, there should be 50 dudes on BMX bikes with no brakes and 4 pegs who show up. I don't know what political party they're going to be associated with, but they need to like go into that environment and do stuff, and that'll get people's attention. If that's all we're after.
You heard them, everybody. Let's round up the troops.
Cycling boxing matches.
I mean, because it's true.
BMX is going to beat the shit out of everyone.
Okay, but even if we could like engineer the most viral BMX related thing ever, it's still just going to be like a flash in the pan of like a brief little jolt of like energy into the space that, like that Adam LZ thing, like, as cringe as he may have been, that was the last time that I was like, oh my God, like, because he had a legion of dudes buying his frame and shit. Like, I remember Rich Hirsch telling me that his Stranger frame sold like much better than like anything else they had done in the like 10 years prior to that or some shit.
Oh, imagine if you had a Lewis Mills, but like with his mindset, it would go crazy.
The thing is
that
like,
would work wonders.
Lewis Mills is not going to be willing to reduce himself to being as douchey as you need to be like a vlogger who's really like, you just have to give so much of yourself to the people in order to be a vlogger. But also, I'm going to throw it out there that like vlogs are also dead. Like, even like in the skateboard world or whatever, like I used to like see their numbers and they were really impressive. There used to be all these BMXers. Like at one point, Austin Augie's getting 6 figures on every single vlog he uploads. I mean, I'm pretty sure that doesn't exist at all anymore either. Like the level of attention that people are even willing to give up to a vlog is pretty small in comparison to like TikTok and shit now,
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing, thanks for bringing me in here so I can say all this shit to people, because I've been saying it for so long. But the other thing too is that the problem is that BMX videos right now are just purely entertainment for people. You guys talked about like how things are crazy and everything. It's a flash in the pan. It's literally just entertainment. Any normal person who sees a clip online is just entertained by it, and then they move on to the next thing. There's not much out there that could be a catalyst for a larger amount of people to make them want to do this thing.
Yeah,
you need like a call to action, basically, like at the end of something like that.
Well, yeah, because like I like watching. I watch Instagram reels and YouTube videos of people doing graffiti pretty regularly. I'll get like sucked in by a good thumbnail or whatever, and it's like that doesn't convert over to me wanting to do graffiti, even if I'm a person who might watch an hour or two of graffiti content in a month.
Yep.
Yeah, I think, even like this past weekend, we were in Austin for the Darty Jam, and Trent Lutsky dropped his new video, Hair of the Dog, which is an absolutely amazing video. It's an hour and a half long. And to a BMX rider watching that video, I got goosebumps because it's like when you ride and you watch a video where there's hard work put in and you can see the lifestyle, you can see all the friends together, the camaraderie, it like hits you. But a normal person watching that video is not going to be like, man, I want to get a BMX bike, or even, man, I want to support this guy, because I think there's that massive disconnect between people that love this shit and people that are just watching it, you know?
Yep. And yeah, I mean, I've been trying to figure that out.
Going back to what Brant said, yeah, it's just all the marketing is targeted towards people who already ride. And as those people drop off, they're not being replaced by new people. You can see it. I mean, I don't go to every jam or anything anymore, but when I do, or a premiere, it's the same exact people every single time. When I used to go to jam, premiere, whatever, in 2015, 16, 17, you'd constantly see new people all the time that I didn't know, that I was meeting. Now it's like I know everybody there, and those people are shrinking every time.
Yeah.
Including myself. Like I don't go to every single one.
My proposed,
I don't know what to do about that, but it's clearly a problem.
The thing that I've been bringing up repeatedly is that like companies still send their teams on trips across the country in vans. Everybody's still going on trips and everything. Take 4 hours out of one day of your trip and figure out a shop somewhere along that line and plan something that you're going to have everybody go to that, or plan to take the riders to like a pump track or a local skate park or somewhere and do the like, hey, I'm blank pro who everyone knows and looks up to in BMX, but no one outside of it has any idea who they are. And like, I do these tricks and we're on this trip and we're here filming, riding, whatever you say, but that's not all BMX is. You know, these local pump tracks you guys have, you can just go and have fun riding on those. And then you put that on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok as an ad. You put it on like YouTube ads, use Google ads, do like real marketing with this stuff that can go towards kids and other people, and show like both sides of it while you're already out there doing the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
it's something.
Honestly, like, also, I'm just curious. Why is everybody saying "fuck Vans" in the chat? Eddie Queller's in there. I think it's partially because Vans let go of some dudes like Alex Donachie, and I don't know if there's other people.
Oh no. Eddie's been on "fuck Vans" for quite a while.
Bro, I've been on "fuck Vans" for 10 years. They're the worst shoes in BMX. Vans are, I'm sorry to anybody that rides for Vans. If you're making money off Vans, good on you. Vans are the worst shoes to ride in. Vans are literally the McDonald's of BMX shoes. They're convenient, they're everywhere, and they're not good for you. Like, what the hell is everybody doing? They just swear. Because that's the other thing, too. Vans sucked everybody in. How many pairs of checkerboard Vans do you see people wearing that have nothing to do with the industry? People bought into that shit. And, I mean, Vans fucking sucks, bro. Wear Jordan 1s.
What the fuck? Of all things. Yeah, support BMX, wear Jordans. But, yo, regarding Vans, though, like, I feel like Vans is like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, Vans was so cool, and now I don't feel like Vans are cool at all. I never hear anything positive about them as a brand anymore. And even like the skateboard culture in general, like I heard somebody say this the other day, is that like you could basically look at like Thrasher, Supreme, and Vans, and like how well they're doing is basically going to determine how well the skateboard industry as a whole is doing. And if you think about it, those three brands 5-10 years ago were fucking gigantic, and they all kind of feel like they're waning at this point in terms of like mainstream popularity.
Yeah. The internet has killed the
BMX star. Maybe my view is flawed, but down here in Orange County, Vans is still quite strong. I also live by the beach, though, so that might be different. But
yeah,
I don't fuck with them personally because they tried to force all their employees to get vaccinated.
Oh, that's right.
2021. So they can suck a dick. I haven't bought it since then, but I am happy they support lots of BMX riders. So that's great. But fuck you, I'm not buying them.
Damn.
That's my 2 cents.
My perspective on Vans is, yeah, the shoes absolutely suck, but it can't be argued what they have done and do for BMX.
Yeah.
What have they done? What have they really done, though? What
I mean,
happened?
they haven't in a while, but they did the Vans Pro Cup stuff and the amount of riders that they help out and support.
Yeah, but how does that help? Like the 12-year-old that just got into BMX.
I mean, but Vans, anything they do to like, you know, give riders money, promote BMX, make any kind of media about BMX, because like Vans could very easily, I hate to admit this, but Vans could very easily decide, you know what, this BMX thing ain't working anymore. Everybody on the team is cut. No more advertising. I don't think that they're going to see any impact in their yearly balance sheet as a result. Them supporting BMX, I think, is like a long-term play in basically supporting action sports in general, but unfortunately every other company involved in action sports has basically cut BMX over the years. And in particular, I would like to call attention to the fact that like Nike, for example, comes into BMX in whatever 2005, 2006, 2007, whenever the 6.0 program comes out. They basically they basically like outmarket Low Tech, Orchid, even like a Etnies or all these other companies are doing shit in BMX. They outmarket them for a couple of years, make everybody kind of start wearing Nikes, and then they pull their entire program. And then allow them to still have a couple of pro riders, but then pull that away at some point. Meanwhile, all the BMX shoe companies have been decimated by the fact that they were trying and failing to compete with Nike. And realistically, Nike's kind of doing the same thing in skateboarding. I know they haven't like fully pulled back, but it stands to reason that in the next 5-10 years, I would assume their BMX budgets are going to shrink bit by bit. And then meanwhile, all these skate companies were kind of forced out by Nike.
I mean, it's probably going to be, I think the guys that are on there are going to ride off into the sunset, and then not a lot of new guys are going to get added. If they don't just straight up cut it at some point. But they do have they basically cornered the market. I mean, you go to a jam or something, I'd say 80 or 90% of people have Vans on. So it's not like it's nothing. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. But anyways, I got to go real quick. But Catfish, I was going to ask you on the topic of kids being interested, when you do these school shows and you've been doing them for a long time, like, do you notice a difference in the kids themselves or like how interested they are from say 10 or 15 years ago and now?
I think it's pretty much the same thing. Literally, every show I always let the students know, I'm like, hey, if you're interested in getting involved in BMX, come up to me after the show and talk to me. I can give you some resources to get you started. And I would say probably at least 5 to 10 kids a week will come up, and I'll give them some Instagram pages to follow. If they're girls, I always give them the Bloom BMX because it's the only female Instagram page or devoted to female BMX. So I think I think the allure of people that are seeing BMX for the first time, especially when you see it in person, it still has that wow effect. But we have to cultivate it. And I've talked about this before in interviews where I think the big thing if we want BMX to grow is when you go to a skate park and you see young kids, make an interaction with them, be friends with them, show them something. Because I think the biggest thing, I mean, think about how many times when we were growing up riding, how fucking frustrating it is to try and learn a trick by yourself. When you want to learn something and there's nobody to teach you how to do that trick and you're trying to figure it out for yourself. When you're at a skate park and you see somebody trying something, you're able to help them. I always let kids know, I'm like, if you come to the skate park and you get 1% better at that trick, you're improving and you're on your way to becoming an awesome BMX rider. Because if you go to the skate park every day and you feel defeated or you don't have somebody there to support you and be like, yo, you're doing awesome, that's why we lose riders. Where when you have that camaraderie between people, it's like, oh, I went to the skate park today and this dude was like hyping me up to pull this 180 and I did it. And then when you pull that trick, it's the best feeling in the world. And you have people that are watching you, encouraging you. You're gonna be like, fuck yeah, I'm into this. I've never experienced this before where people are like supporting me to do this thing, and I think that's the biggest one where you cultivate it at that level where I got a bunch of riders that I ride with in OC, like the homies Mason and all those kids that ride that park in West. Yeah. I started riding with them, and it's awesome to be able to watch them progress. And I'm not saying that I'm the reason for it, but they also have a good basis of older riders that show them the way. And there's like 10 of them, and they're all 14 or 15, and they love BMX. And it was like that's a case where we did it the right way. We got these kids in, we got them stoked on BMX, and they also have a crew to ride with. I think that's also a big thing. If you don't have anybody to ride with, if you're riding by yourself, it's going to be a lot harder to get stoked on BMX if you're riding every day by yourself.
Oh yeah, for sure. When you're that age, I feel like you're basically just playing Russian roulette with like, what's the first group of people that's going to accept me? And that could have been Call of Duty. It could be skateboarding. It could be fucking being trans. It could be whatever. You're gonna fall into something around that age.
Furries.
So, yeah.
But the whole thing is that
whatever it might be.
The idea that people are going to like maintain a connection with the BMX subculture as they get much older is kind of an unproven theory from my perspective. And I know that like in skating, that's like a lot more of a thing. Like I know a lot more dudes who are in their 30s or 40s who still like buy skateboards or shirts, or still will go to the skate park from time to time, still go to a contest, still go to a jam. That's the painful thing about BMX is that like the audience is kind of like younger at this point. So if you're a dude who's like 28, I think at a certain point, like unless you have your own scene and culture about it and everything like that, like the desire to go to a jam or whatever, be part of this shit is just not really necessarily going to be as strong. Like I think at a certain point, we kind of have to just accept it that BMX is like of the youth. Like people are just like not going to be lining up to ride BMX as they are deeper into their 30s, aside from the guy. Like who do you really know that still rides BMX in their 30s that isn't sponsored, pro, etc.? Usually they're people who are like anchored to the scene by having like really good friendships and camaraderie and shit like that. That'll keep somebody in the game for a long time. But I mean, it really is like, we kind of have to accept at a certain point that this is clearly like a youth subculture.
Yeah. It is a youth, and that's the same. It is of the youth, and that's what I was just saying, though. But, like, they fall out, and we're just not replacing them. So I don't know if we've come to any real conclusion there, but it is just something I think about every now and again. So
what's crazy?
I got to jump on a call, so I got to go. But,
all right. Well, hey, Sauce, we'll talk to you. I'm convincing Adam to throw a big BMX event next year. We'll talk to you.
Ooh.
Later, my Caucasians.
Appreciate you, bro. Much love.
What's crazy about what you guys are talking about too, and people falling out of BMX, is that there's entire communities of older dudes online who ride that are coming back into it and do their own thing. Like that Ride On BMX group on Facebook is getting closer to 10,000 people in it. And there's like an active community where there's older dudes every single day, just back and forth talking on there. And then they do the annual video contest.
Right.
And the level of riding is insane.
Oh, that's
Did you get
dope.
my twin in here?
Early 2000s BMX. What's going on, man? I'm a big fan. Yeah.
What up? Likewise. I wanted to jump in on this because obviously making some interesting points here. But Brant, how many BMXers do you think are in the world like active in Catfish? What do you think? Like if you had to guess, like is there any way like people can actually figure that out? Obviously they're not going to know to like a T, but I wonder if there's like industry stuff out there that would like estimate that based off of like.
What would you guys guess? What would you guess? I would say probably less than 20,000.
No, I'd say it's more than that.
You think?
Yeah.
Like real riders, they can. If we go to their house, pull them out of their house. They can 180 on the spot and pull it.
Yeah, I guess it might not be as high if you go that far.
Yeah, there's some fat fucks on Facebook that swear they ride. That don't
the over 30s BMX Facebook group that's just full of a million people who've never actually rode.
Swear, that's why I don't go on Facebook anymore, because all these old fucks that are like late 30s, early 40s, my brain is still there, and I remember everything. And these old fucks try to pull the wool over people's eyes, like, I invented this trick. I'm like, motherfucker, you absolutely did not, you fat bastard.
I take Joey Cobbs had kind of a good theory on this when I talked to him about it, because he took a look at like Dennis's video views on YouTube and like Scotty Kramer's video views. And when you look at like the low end of their views, that might be a good way of judging, because yeah, he probably has some people who never rode that are watching, but like, and you look at how well an edit does on like an average edit, and you can kind of get a range there, I feel like.
Yeah, I think Dennis
videos
would be great for that. Dennis videos would be a great representation of real riders watching. I don't think Scotty's videos so much.
Yeah, his is like the high end.
Yeah.
Yo, the sad thing about Scotty, as much as like I respect the fuck out of his whole career and everything, is that, bro, he was killing it on YouTube. And then he had that injury, and I personally, as a subscriber, watched the fucking numbers plummet, and I was like, damn, bro, this is a fucked up fan base. This motherfucker put a hole in his head for his love of BMX riding, and you guys just dipped out and stopped watching his fucking content. And it's like, I have a friend who I feel like I'm kind of experiencing something similar with a traumatic injury right now. It's like the fan base is just maybe not as committed as you would like to think that they would be at times. Like they want to see you in your glory, and then as soon as the times start getting a little tough, they dip out faster than you'd think.
Yeah, right. And it's sad because it's happening more and more in action sports. Like every year, it seems like somebody's getting paralyzed. Like that last guy in that Adolf Silva in at Red Bull Rampage a couple weeks ago.
Yo, that stood out to me. I was like, oh, like we need to be having a serious conversation about like ethics in terms of like what events are even like permitted at bicycle contests, because I've never seen a contest that seems so geared towards paralyzing the participants.
Right? God.
For real.
I think there's a bunch of memes where everybody watching Red Bull Rampage this year is like biting their teeth because every drop in, somebody could possibly die.
It's a crazy conversation because no one's forcing those guys to do it.
Right.
But at the same time, the question of how far is too far is a valid question.
Yeah, I don't want to see anybody die.
No, yeah, I remember the when Began took that legendary El Toro fall, and then I was in Africa with Dan Lacey and the Monster Team like a week later, and Dan Lacey hospitalized himself like doing a tooth down like a big rail. Yeah, and I remember at that time having a feeling of like, oh shit, like maybe I don't feel so great about constantly having to watch people hospitalize themselves in the pursuit of BMX tricks. But obviously, like that's a kind of a rare occurrence. Like how many times you've been to the hospital in your BMX career, like for yourself or other people? Realistically, if you end up going to the hospital 20 times in a 20-year BMX career, that would be a pretty shocking number. It's still pretty rare, even though it's obviously always a possibility. But the thing with that Red Bull contest was just kind of like, oh, you're going to, like at a certain point, if you're going to fly dudes out to compete in this event and then you're going to have the gnarliest fucking shit ever, and it's like, oh, hey, we're going to give you this huge amount of money if you do this. I mean, if you're one of those dudes, like, you know, what are your sponsors going to say if you just don't want to take part? Like, they want you to win. Like, that's a shitty position to put a pro in.
How much is it? Does anybody know what the purse for Rampage is?
I am not sure, yeah.
That's a good question.
What is it like? Is it $100,000 or something, or something like that?
Oh, okay.
I think I don't know if that's true. Yeah, but I think that's what I heard.
Either $100,000, I'll double flip for $100,000, but like I was thinking it was like 15.
I'm literally, that's just
hearsay. $100,000. 2025 event awarding $100,000.
But
is that total or is that?
If we
prize money breakdown,
if we do a rail contest and we put up $100,000 for best trick, then someone is going to do like a tire rod to backflip down the rail. Like $100,000 is so much money that I feel like that's kind of fucked up to like even dangle that in front of people who, you know, that the way that they're going to win is that they basically have to risk paralyzing themselves. That is, I've never thought about this prior, but this is a real thing, you know.
$100,000 in El Toro, somebody's going to 5-bar it.
No, actually, someone for sure will at least 540 El Toro if there's $100,000 up there. Yeah,
I mean, look at Rumble in Richmond and that jump. How many people get broke off for free on that jump?
Yeah.
Versus like when you're actually at that event, it's crazy. It's a proving ground. People are sending it in the name of just doing it. And if you put something like $100,000 on anything, people are going to kill themselves.
Yes. I mean, and to kind of go back to what we were talking about a minute ago, at that Darty Fest, Morgan Wade, who's on tour with us, sent himself at least 10 times, got broke off 10 different times. You guys should have seen him the next day for nothing because he loves BMX. He did it for the love of BMX. And that's like,
he's a throwback for sure.
Yeah.
Like they don't make guys who ride like that every day anymore. But yeah, I mean, like even there's been street jams where I was like, yo, I got $100 for best trick in this rail, and dudes just start sending themselves, and I'm over here like forgetting what $100 means to a dude who realistically is like working 60 hours a week and just wants to, he has one day out of the week that he gets to go ride and he's at this jam, and it's like that extra incentive really will push somebody over the edge to do whatever.
But that also, I think that's the cool side of BMX that's fucking awesome. When you see somebody that's worked, put in 50 hours this week, and he's bar tooth in a rail, down rail, like, that's fucking amazing because you're doing it for the love, and homeboy's got to put a hard hat on Monday and go back to work and tell all his coworkers about why he's got a fucking swell boat.
Nah, facts. I mean, even like I had a conversation with like a freestyle, like a battle rap dude a couple of years ago who kind of like, when he was talking about what it used to be like to be a hip hop fan and a battle rapper or whatever back in the day, it reminded me of like, he's talking about something very similar to what BMX was like back in the day, where the whole goal with BMX when I was a kid was to go riding. Like you go out, you're downtown, you're at the skate park, you're just out riding. When I was living in New York, the dudes who would get like the most respect, as aside from like obviously who can do tricks and shit, it would be the dudes who are like, oh, that guy like goes out riding every day at noon and doesn't go back in the crib until midnight. And now it's like, no, you make content. Like it's not like nobody really gives a fuck if you're out riding 12 hours a day, but if you have some good Instagram clips, then everybody's going to respect you. And that's like a huge part is like that battle rap world. They were just battling each other outside of the fucking bodega, but then everything became about content, and all of a sudden it became like, oh, I'm not gonna battle some famous fucking battle rapper and just let random people film this. No, I'm gonna like try to get some company to give me $100,000 to compete in a battle, or 20 grand or 30, whatever I can get. But like once you realize the value of what you're doing and the content that it could create, then you're not just going to be so intrigued by the idea of just being there or just doing it for the soul of it. People used to talk about being a soul rider, and it was like a serious thing back in the day, and it sounds kind of cringe now. I remember, bro, rest in peace to Jimmy Mack, Catfish. I remember Jimmy Mack asking Ben Hiddle to ride for Bulldog Bikes, and Ben Hiddle couldn't think of anything else to say, so he told him like, nah, man, I think I'm just going to be a soul rider.
Oh shit! that might have been a good business decision for him. But
I mean, the square chain stays. I mean, you know.
God, Brad Sims wrote for him.
He did.
The Brink reference goes hard.
Yeah, that's a sweet video though. The Brad Sims in that Bulldog video is a pretty sick part.
No, that was a great classic section. Yo, I'm gonna call Brad Sims out though. Like, is it just me? I said this on the group chat the other day. This is gonna be a throwback to Catfish, but. Is it just me, or did Brad Sims film like 50 crazy bangers, get a bunch of sponsors, and then be like, yo, now I'm mountain biking and fuck y'all? I mean, I just haven't really like seen him post much BMX stuff in recent memory. And for a while there, it felt like he was going crazy. I was kind of surprised by that.
I think he's just living, crazy. Bro. I think he's just living. He's getting some nice paychecks now, so he's just like he's busted his ass for so long. Right.
Facts.
So many years of him just grinding for nothing, that I like to see him take a chill pill, just sit back and relax. And, you know, it's cool to see him on the mountain bikes, even though I'm not a fan of mountain bikes. Get that money.
No, yeah. From a personal
BMX
standpoint,
401k.
I respect it for sure. You know, get sponsored and then just fuck off. That's amazing. But I don't know. I just feel like it's like once you get sponsored, usually you got to go hard to like keep that. But I guess I can think of other people who are kind of examples of getting sponsored and then fucking off, and the sponsor not really being like clued in enough to like understand that you kind of stopped pushing the envelope at a certain point.
Yeah, very true.
Adam, what do you think of Nigel's, what he's doing? You know, obviously he's huge, but do you think he's getting kids on bikes? I mean, it's hard to say, obviously, but I just wanted to know if you thought he's making an impact, because he makes it look cool, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think what Nigel is doing is really the model for like anybody who wants to make it as a BMX rider at this point, that you basically have to like paint this picture of yourself as being like an overall cool, admirable figure. That being said, you know, I feel like authenticity goes a long way in this current like influencer generation, and I don't feel like the average like fan really feels like they know Nigel, or if they do, they feel like it's pretty shallow. Like, you know, he's just kind of like, hey, I got cool shoes and I ride bikes. I've been doing feeble 180 bars for a couple decades now. I don't know. I feel like I just wish that like I don't know. I wish more people like were able to like glean from Nigel's career the right parts of like, oh, this is the kind of marketing that I need to be doing with myself. Like there just should be a lot more Nigels, you know, like. But
I agree. I 100% agree.
I can't take anything away from the fact that he's been making a living off BMX for all these years, and realistically probably got some people into it. But yeah, I don't know.
But the problem is that made that crossover to make, like I said before, where like skateboarding had Tony Hawk, and people were like, "Oh, this guy's cool. He's a skateboarder. I'm going to support this guy, even though I don't skateboard." Nigel was one of the first ones to really mesh hip hop and BMX. Remember when Martin Luther MLK Park in Long Beach, they just opened. Nigel threw a jam there and brought ASAP Ferg to the skate park. This is before anybody knew who he was, and ASAP Ferg performed at MLK Skate Park in Long Beach. Nigel's been up for a really long time, like meshing those two worlds. But I think, like you said, Adam, I think we need more people like Nigel to actually put on for BMX. There's dudes like that, Jaron Barbs, and there's other dudes that are following in Nigel's footsteps. But I still think we need a lot more Nigel Sylvesters in BMX to help push the culture side of BMX. It's because that's the thing it's about riding. It's not just cool tricks on a bike that's selling stuff. People don't buy skateboard shit because they like watching an ollie. They bought into the culture of skateboarding, which they want to be a part of. And until we get people in the limelight that are showing BMX in a cool light, that people that don't ride are like, damn, that's fucking cool. I'll buy that shirt. I'm into that. Until we get people like that, BMX is going to remain stagnant. It's going to stay right where it's at.
The problem is that Nigel in his rise was so hated on by everyone that you say there needs to be more Nigels, then everyone looks like, you look at how people treat Nigel and their like response when his name comes up, and you're like, well, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to go do this stuff and then get hated on by the entire community?
Yeah, but do
you think Nigel cares that people are hating on him?
No, but
I don't think he should care at all. I'm just saying, like, from the perspective of people looking at it, like for a long time when his name got brought up, people would just talk shit and say, oh, he doesn't even ride and all this stuff that he's doing all this dumb stuff, whatever. He's finally like now at a place where I think people are giving him respect. Like right now, you guys are, but it felt like he got a lot of hate for a long time.
But the thing is that in that sort of like 2013, 2014 era, Nigel went through this phase where he was just talking crazy on Twitter. I will remind the panel of a certain tweet where I believe he said that like Rosa Parks sat so that Obama could run so that I could bar spin or something along those lines. He was really courting the hate at a certain point. And I'm going to be real with you, that was the time period where he and I ceased communication, haven't really talked to him since. I think he figured out at some point that he needed to temper his egomaniac outbursts on social media because it wasn't a good look. But like, bro, do you remember the Rodeo Peanut Nigel? Oh my God. Like it was day to day
it went hard.
Oh, it was destruction. Like, bro, and he was feeding the beast. He kept doing and saying shit that made it so unbelievably easy for them to just cook him. And I'm sorry, like BMX is always going to be the kind of subculture that really like prizes being humble and low key and not, you know, I maybe low key is not the word, but like BMX does not want you to talk about how great you are. Skateboarding does not want you to talk about how great you are. And once you get to that point, the fans will turn on you. And I've seen it happen time and time again. All Stephen Murray had to do was buy a fucking SUV and kit it out and have an article about how he had a $200,000 vehicle, and that was enough for the fans to turn on his ass. You know, like anything that is viewed as egotistical in BMX is short lived. Look at the way they act towards Nigel. Like if Nigel's image was a bit more like hardcore, he would probably be a lot more beloved. But because he's viewed as so successful and not in any way shy about being so successful, I mean, he's just kind of made himself a target. He's somebody else who seems like they kind of figured it out at a certain point. Like, oh, people don't really want to see me be full of myself. That's not going to really play well to this audience.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Isn't it wild how it's got to be like such a rigid thing? Like if you want to be really, really successful and loved by everyone, you have to be in a very specific window and box of like how you act and what you do and what you say and all of that.
No, some truth to that, but at the same time, like, you can be a boxer and you can be a huge dick. You can be a UFC superstar. You can be a huge dick. You can be an NBA star and you can kind of be a dick, and the fans will still fuck with you because that is like a quantifiable profession. Whereas like in BMX, being beloved by the fans is such a big part of it, because you literally have no value to the to the brands that you're sponsoring you unless you're likable and unless people want to wear your shit or whatever. And so that's why somebody like D-Hart is able to be pro. Shit, D-Hart's probably damn near 40 at this point, right? But he's inoffensive. People like him. He clearly like represents like a certain style and era of BMX riding. He's not killing him.
Kills it.
He kills it, but he's not killing himself. He's not jumping off a fucking building. He knows that he could do a wall ride manual 180 for the rest of his life, and that Robbie maybe someday will peel the Band-Aid off and be like, listen, bro, I can't pay you anymore. But it's probably a ways down the road, because realistically, like the image that people want you to have in BMX is very they want you to be a man of the people, you know?
Yeah, very, very true.
Aaron,
BMX as an industry needs more villains.
I mean, to keep it interesting, I do agree. Like, Rodeo Pino was a great era in BMX. I'm not gonna lie. As much as it was,
LOL BMX was a great era of BMX as well.
Don't fucking play with me, Catfish. I created the first ever BMX meme parody whatever account. And I feel like I'm happy that has been written out of history, and because who's writing the history books anyway at this point? I don't know. But that was a crazy era, because the first rule of LOL BMX when we made it was you can never write a caption. So it would be like a picture of somebody at the skate park looking like the biggest dork you ever seen in their life. But I felt like it was too much to write a caption saying, look at this fucking idiot. So it just had to be the photo so you could fill in the blanks in your head of like, yo, that's a crazy outfit. You know, like that was a good era. It was very simple.
Great era.
And that makes it like more fun too, because you're not like straight up hating at that point. You're just poking fun, like putting a picture up there and then letting whatever people want to take from it be taken.
Yeah, that's why I felt like made it kind of chill in comparison. But like even then, Rodeo Pino comes along and it's like, oh, we're gonna take a shitty clip of somebody doing a trick and then we're gonna put a Seinfeld clip after it. And that really had us going for a long time there. The funniest thing in the world to us for a long time.
God, it was so funny. Until we got made fun of ourselves.
Yo, the best was Alfredo got last place in a simple session, and somebody with the password posted just the screenshot of him in last place, and then he immediately deletes it. And I was like, oh, bro, like this is a problem now. Now we've taken on more than we can handle realistically.
Yeah, we got well over our heads with that one.
Nah, facts. Yo, I'm going
this is fun. I gotta go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go meet up with Blueface. We got a little something going on tonight, so maybe
Adam.
Maybe I'll find some Tatianas for y'all.
Adam, I want to talk about BMX media sometime with you. Sometime.
Let's do it, Brant. Yeah, I watched some of your stuff over the years. Charlie Crumless was the first person who made me aware of you, and yeah, you kill it. So we should definitely do that sometime.
Thanks.
We'll talk about our big BMX event next year. No jumper BMX contest.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
I would be happy to do so. Appreciate y'all.
All right.
Later, fellas.
Bye.
Later, guys.
Wow. All right. So to the people out there who watched that, obviously we ended up going in a little bit of a different direction. The plan was to talk about some BMX stuff, or the plan was to talk about some hip hop stuff. Instead, I spent 2 hours talking to my BMX homies because of the fact that we were only able to go live on the On Some Shit account. So I'm going to work on figuring this out. The next time I do one of these streams, I will make sure that I have a better account to go live from, which is going to be interesting. That means maybe I'm going to have to get like a co-host. Like maybe I'm going to have to get somebody else with a lit Instagram so that we can go live together, because now it's kind of looking like the accounts that I own are not going to be able to take part in this project. But the important thing is that I sat there for 2 hours and used Instagram Live on a YouTube stream, which I did not know was possible. That's what we were really working on. But yeah, I'm happy that we got this done, even though a mere 400 people watching. But hey, we're talking BMX stuff. It's niche. So yeah, definitely I'm going to do this again in the very near future. I just have to find a better account to go live from. But maybe I can hit up somebody on the back end and get some of those strikes removed from my account. Maybe that'll make it so that I can go live sooner. It's a theory, at least. Anyway, I appreciate everybody out there for watching this. I'm definitely going to do another one of these as soon as humanly possible. I appreciate everybody who watched. I'm sure that the BMX community is going to chime in and have some thoughts about